Are you ready to create a life you crave? Let's spin that doom loop of negativity into an upward success cycle and start living lucky. And I'm Jana, and I am living lucky. I hope you are too. Oh,
I'm Jason. I'm living luckier.
How lucky are we? Come join us. Come join us. Say hello. Give us a thumbs up. We want to know that you're here, and we want to connect with you.
Woo! Good morning.
We just had a moment because Jason keeps his clocks on his bedstand 10 minutes fast. He's been doing this for as long as I've known him.
Long time.
And then all of a sudden, this week, he decides to...
It's time to get on time with life.
It's time to get on time. But he doesn't communicate that with me. So as I'm in there putting on my mascara, I'm thinking, oh, I still have 10 minutes.
Congratulations.
No! Surprise, surprise. Well, it's glad that you're finally now.
I'm catching up with the real world.
You're in the moment. You're in the now.
I'm letting the world catch up with me. I was always 10 minutes ahead.
I love it. All right, you guys. This morning we are talking about morning routines because every now and then I think we all just need a reminder. I know Jana and Jason need a little reminder because ever since the time change, which for us here in Florida is our change of seasons.
How do we know when it's fall, y'all? Because the clock just fell back.
That's right. That's how we know. And for us, it feels like we haven't quite adjusted to this hour, this extra, everybody says an extra hour, but it feels like, it's dark at night. We got home yesterday from an event that we were at over at the beach, which was absolutely beautiful. We were on this 8th floor penthouse on the beach of Sarasota. Siesta Key.
Yeah.
Siesta Key.
Sarasota.
It was absolutely gorgeous. And we get home at around
6:30.
It was a little after 6, pitch dark. And I was so worried about my dog. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's been here all day. Well,
it's midnight.
Yeah, she's only been here for 5 hours. But it felt so dark. And I'm like, she's going to be so scared. Anyway, so I haven't quite adjusted to my, what's it called? My circadian rhythm.
Circadian rhythm.
Yes, where we adjust to the darkness
clock.
And the morning. So we're talking about morning routines today. Now, we're just going to give you a quick, easy morning routine that we actually learned from Hal Elrod from the Miracle Morning. Jason and I had the opportunity to host a clubhouse room for him for a while. It was in 2021. And we were, it was so much fun and we met so many great people. And every morning we only talked about morning routines.
Yeah.
And we did that for quite a while. And then we started our own clubhouse room, which I know many of you joined us. But in the Miracle Morning Clubhouse room, they teach a formula so that everybody can follow it very, very easily.
Very simple.
It spells the word S.A.V.E.R.S. S-A-V-E-R-S. So if you ever have the thought, I don't know how to start a morning routine, I don't even know what to do, I don't know how to get started, follow this formula. And then over time, you'll kind of start adjusting to what is more important to you and your values and your time frame.
Yeah, you'll find what works for you because this is literally just 6 things that Hal says, this is what works in 10 minutes of each.
He studied all of the... Well, he studied a handful of very, very successful people in the world. I'm talking like the Napoleon Hills, the Dale Carnegies, the Tony Robbins. He studied them for a while and he said, what is it that you do in the morning? And then he found themes of what everybody had in common and he put it into a routine and it's called S.A.V.E.R.S. And it starts out, each thing is 10 minutes. So each letter is 10 minutes long. So the S, you wake up in the morning and you have 10 minutes of silence. For us, we call this meditation time.
And so ours is a little longer than 10 minutes now.
Because I love it so much. That's why.
You go with what works for you.
10 minutes of silence will clear your head. It just gives you a chance to breathe.
It's not checking your cell phone. That's not getting up and doing anything else. It's 10 minutes of silence to set your intention for the day, to kind of to just allow yourself to be in the moment for the
Some
day.
people pray, some people just sit in silence. It's just a way to clear our head and our brain and our ideas. The second 10 minutes, we do affirmations. So S.A., silence, affirmations. Affirmations, if you've never tried them, they are literally, it's NLP is what it is, neuro linguistic programming. And what you're doing is you're literally telling your brain positive, optimistic thoughts. And like Jason said, setting your intention, you're literally telling your brain, I am excited about work today. I can't wait for opportunities to fall in my lap today.
Yeah, you got to imagine if we're going to wake up every morning and the majority of our thoughts are going to be negative every day, if we can do that, do affirmations every morning, that's going to change that tune a little bit. That's going to put a different record on the player.
I know this morning I did Les Brown, and he has a great affirmation series. And literally, you repeat after him, I have greatness inside me. I am amazing. I am kind. I am compassionate. You literally repeat after him about all of your greatness. And when you're done, you're like, wow, I feel amazing.
Yeah, shoulders go back. I mean, you feel like you're living lucky, right?
It changes your physiology. It changes any type of negative thought patterns that you may have had, like, oh my God, I can't believe I have to work on this project today. Well, all of a sudden you're like, oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm showing up as my best self. Number 3 is the V, S-A-V, and V is vision. And what we do in the 10 minutes of visioning is we literally picture our future self, our best self, our goals, our dreams, our ideal life, whatever that looks like for you. And as you spend 10 minutes picturing that, it is very important to connect. How would you feel? How would you act if these things were happening? If you had all the money in the world, how would you feel? How would you act? If you had all of the abundance, you had the best relationships, love just coming at you.
You were traveling all over the world. If that was what you wanted out of life, like, what does that feel like? What does it smell like? What are the emotions involved in that? If you're able to help as many people as possible in the world, how does that emotionally impact you?
Yeah. And it's also very important to picture your best self doing whatever it is that you want to be doing. So if it's a career, or if it's being the best parent, or if it is just being an awesome wife that blocks her husband's view.
Staging. Jana's all about the staging. That's all her years in theater.
It's important for you to visualize what that looks like, and then say, okay, that's who I'm going to be today. That's who I'm going to be. Because if you can just be it now, it helps speed up that latency period.
Yeah, and start visualizing who you're around when you're that next person.
Oh, that's good too. And next thing you know,
because what you'll realize is some of the people that you're around now aren't going to be the people in your future, and you might want to go ahead and cut some of them free.
and sometimes you'll be surprised, because you'll visualize them and then they'll just pop into your life that day, or they'll call you and they'll say, hey, I was thinking about you.
Right.
And it's like, oh my gosh, I manifested that one.
It's incredible.
The next letter is E. So we have S-A-V-E.
My favorite.
Exercise. And you only have to do 10 minutes. So it's not hard. And it can be literally jumping jacks. It can be stretching.
It can be a gratitude walk.
It can be a gratitude walk. We a lot of times, our exercise is literally going 3 times around the pond and just being grateful for everything we see, all the cracks,
like
all of the
streaking with the cool kids and adding gratitude in there.
There you go.
Habit stacking.
There you go. So E is exercise. We do need to move and just do a little good for our body. Get energized. That will actually bring you energy. The R. So we have S.A.V.E.R. The R is reading. It's so important to always learn. So read for 10 minutes. And for me, I start with 10 minutes and I end up, next thing I know, it's 10 o'clock. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I just want to finish this book. I just want to finish it. So learning it's a consummate for me.
Yeah, and imagine if you're visualizing what you want in your future and you're actually reading something that is going to kind of craft knowledge around that later.
When Jason started reading, I mean, literally, he was the first one to incorporate reading into his life. And that was probably 15 years ago. And it was because his boss made him. I mean, that's how it started. His boss made him read a book. And he was like, I gotta read this book. And next thing I know, he got on Audibles and he would come home and he'd say, oh, yeah, it's making my trip to and from work go so quickly because I just listen to books all the time. And then he started getting smart and wise. And I would sit at dinner and be like, oh, tell me more.
Tell me more,
And
Nostradamus.
it became very sexy to me. I think being smart and wise is very, very sexy.
I wish that some of my teachers in high school had told me to read. I wish that my parents had told me.
Everyone tells us to read. Why? Why don't we listen? What we're like, oh, read.
And literally 10 minutes a day that's a beautiful start. And it's
10 minutes a day will turn into what's happened to us. We have to take monthly deliveries to Goodwill because we have way too many books that we know what to do with. It also, we have stacks of lists of books we want to read, and we're just searching for time to read them.
Well, we're at a point now where we're actually meeting a lot of authors and people are giving us books.
And that's true too.
And also people know how important reading is to our value system, so they recommend the books that have changed their lives. So our reading list gets longer. Our time is the same because everybody has the same amount of time. So then things are, and I've had to say, all right, my goal is to stick to a schedule, and I'm not going to move one thing above the next, regardless of who tells me to read it and how important it is.
Okay, last in the morning routine. So we're at 50 minutes right now, and you have 10 minutes left for an hour morning routine, and that's another S. And that S is scribe.
Journaling.
So I've mentioned before, Julia Cameron, she has this scribing method and it's called morning pages. And you literally just vomit whatever thoughts, emotions that you have. Maybe you write down your dreams from the night before. Maybe you write down what you're grateful for. Maybe you write down things that are bothering you, but it's important to just get it out on paper. And the minute you write down things, it gives you a different perspective. If it's something negative you're writing, all of a sudden you go, why am I letting that bother me so much? If it's a dream you're writing down, it puts it into reality, and it makes it concrete. You can see it and you think, you know what? I can do this. I can take baby steps toward this. And then lastly, if you're writing gratitude, it will just shift your lens slightly. It just cleans the lens and it fills us with love, kindness, and it raises our vibration.
There's a very small distinction between what's happening inside your brain and when it comes out into the real world, whether it's spoken or whether it's actually on paper. And when you see, and then also seeing it.
Yes.
So the physicality of writing it and seeing it visually, getting it out of your brain. I talk a lot to people about their thinking track. And that they say things in their head, they think things in their head. They're like, oh, I'm thinking about it. Well, you need to talk about it. You need to write about it.
Yeah.
Because once it's out of your little trap up here,
your trap.
It gets kind of clearer once you get it out into the world.
Yeah, get it out of your trap. Clean your trap.
It just ricochets around in there and it gets a little jumbled sometimes.
Okay, so again, I'm just going to lay this out for everybody. This is the miracle morning routine that was designed by Hal Elrod, and he has a book about it if you want to read more about it. It's really just a nice little elementary formula to get you started and to get you consistent. And then you can take it however direction you want to go with it. For us, we spend a lot of time meditating and visualizing, and our affirmations have now gone throughout the day. Like we spend our entire day lifting each other up and lifting ourselves up.
Yeah, and the easiest time to take back for yourself is morning time. So whether you're a morning person or not, anyone can set their clock back or alarm 10 minutes earlier.
And don't say
20 minutes earlier, 30 minutes earlier.
Yeah, but keep it on the real time.
Yeah, keep it on the real time, but you can change, you can wake up a little bit earlier, because at the end of the day you're going to be exhausted. I mean, that's just the way life is. You are intentional all day long, you're moving towards a direction, but you can get up a little bit earlier and take some time for yourself and be intentional with that time. And if it's in 10-minute increments, you can pick some parts of the S.A.V.E.R.S, add those things. You'll find they're so impactful that you'll go ahead and grab that whole hour and then start making it your own however you want to.
S is silence. A, affirmations. V, visualization. E, exercise. R, reading. And S is scribe. S.A.V.E.R.S. And it's going to not only save your life, it will change it too.
And L² is living lucky.
I like it. I like it. Have a great day, guys. Bye-bye. If the idea of living lucky appeals to you, visit us at startlivinglucky.com.